The Dark Knight, the Caped Crusader, the world's greatest detective, whatever you call him, I think we can all agree that Batman is a hero. Except the times where he isn't. Everything he does is pretty damn heroic, whether it be beating the snot out of the Joker or making sure Gotham can sleep well at night, or at least as well as they can, considering that Gotham's cells are made out of wet paper bags. Yet that doesn't mean he's not been a complete arsehole from time to time. Even though he is a hero, let us not forget that Batman is a bit of a complex character, and though you can certainly excuse certain actions, others, well, they're pretty the opposite. With that in mind, I'm Ewan from What Culture Comics, and here are 8 times Batman was a complete and total jerk.
Hey, just quickly to pop in before the list actually starts, I just want to talk to you about That Film Theory. If you don't know what that is yet, it's a brand new channel that's going to be about video essays, cinematic experiences, a bit more relaxed approach. Hopefully we'll see you there. You can find the details down below.
Number 8. The Many Tortures of Lord Deathman. Not being able to die on paper does sound pretty rad, but it does bring with it its own problems, as Lord Deathman discovered when Batman exacted his revenge in Batman Incorporated, a devilishly good storyline written by everyone's favourite writer, Grant Morrison. Now, as you can probably tell by the name, Lord Deathman was a big fan of the old murder, and Batman, not being a fan of such a thing, decided to hoy him off a skyscraper, where he then returned, and, well, the rest of it makes for pretty grim reading. After Lord Deathman fell off the skyscraper in question, Batman scooped his corpse off the street and stuffed it into a suitcase, remembering for a second that Lord Deathman never truly dies because, he keeps on coming back and it's a bit of a pain. Lord Deathman's corpse is then flown into space, where he suffocates repeatedly. It's really grim and dark. Jesus, Batman. Wow. Number 7. Every time he's revealed Superman's secret identity. Now, here's a question. How do you get your own back on Superman, a man so universally beloved and powerful that to get the drop on him would, well, just be impossible and probably be career suicide? Well, if you're an utter prick like Batman, you can just go about and reveal his secret identity whenever you please, as he did so repeatedly during the Silver Age of comics. Now, it's lucky that in most of these tales, the people who get told about Superman's identity end up having their minds wiped, but come on, Bats, you're treading a fine line here, and well, it's just damn disrespectful. Number 6, the whole spy satellite thing. Brother, I really don't need to say any more than those 2 words to make Batman fans everywhere start sweating, because, oh boy, this one's a doozy. The spy satellite in question is truly one of the jerkiest things ever to be made. Yes, it was a dick move born out of good intentions after the Justice League betrayed Batman, but come on, Bruce, this is just NSA levels of creepy. I certainly do not want you looking through my emails. Number 5, everything he does in Arkham City. In Arkham Asylum, the first entry in Rocksteady Studios' critically lauded Arkham series, you understand the Caped Crusader's antics. He's locked on an entire asylum in a Die Hard-esque plot with loads and loads of his worst enemies surrounding him. It's easy to understand why he'd want to lob a batarang or 2 in their general direction. However, when it comes to Arkham City, things get a little bit more murkier. Bruce, at the start of the game, gets himself incarcerated on purpose so he can uncover the potential conspiracy between Hugo Strange and, later to be revealed, Ra's al Ghul. Sure, those groups may be affiliated with the Joker and Two-Face and Penguin, but I challenge you to go back to the Bowery and look at what most of the henchmen are doing. Most of the time they're talking about what rat they're going to eat next, and the others are cuddled around barrels of fire just to stay warm. Then boom, batarang to the face, bat fist to the bollocks, and worst of all, broken ribs galore. Nice going, Bruce, they're just minding their own business. Number 4, the whole of All-Star Batman and Robin. Now, for those not in the know, All-Star Batman and Robin is actually a prequel to The Dark Knight Returns, or at least a spin-off set in that world during the burgeoning moments of The Dark Knight's crime-fighting career. With pencils provided by Jim Lee, Frank Miller's comic elects to tell the story of how Dick Grayson became Robin for the first time. Except in most other interpretations of that story depicted as being a heartwarming bond between two orphans, here it's an excuse for this psychotic Batman to start torturing a poor defenseless boy. In All-Star Batman and Robin, Batman drags Dick Grayson into his car against his will, calls him a whole manner of ableist slurs, and then forces him to eat a rat in the Batcave. Funny how rats keep coming up. It's just really, really stupid, and yeah, what even was that comic? Come on. Number 3. All of The Dark Knight Returns 2. From one end of Frank Miller's terrifying bibliography, we are taken to a whole other instead with The Dark Knight Returns, one of the writer's most lauded efforts, and a comic that, for the most part, heralded the beginning of the modern age of the medium. The story itself is a really compelling tale of Batman coming out of retirement to fight the government and crime in Gotham City, but on reflection, this Batman does not have his marbles together at all. Not only does this Batman actually get off on beating muggers, he's also partially responsible for the returns of Two-Face and the Joker, who, until his return, were chilling quite happily in a mental institution that may or may not have been Arkham Asylum. So, not only is this Batman a nasty, violent, rude jerk, he's also responsible for actively harming Gotham's citizens by bringing back two of his most feared villains. Great going, Bats. Great going. Number 2. When he kept records of how to take down the Justice League. Right, so let's get back to that spy satellite. Not only was it doing surveillance on pretty much everyone on the planet, well, the data it had been collecting turned out to be pretty pregnable, and the data breach in question led to some dire consequences for the Justice League themselves. In Justice League of America Tower of Babel, not only does it turn out that Batman loves to keep records on every Tom, Dick, and Harry out there, but also his fellow Justice Leaguers as well, in the event that they could potentially, in one day, turn against him. Now, in his defense, the Justice League have been brainwashed, mind wiped, mind control, whatever you want to call it, on plenty of different occasions. But let's not forget, these are his friends. They are his comrades. Why would you do this? The fact that this information then falls into the hands of one of his most dangerous enemies doesn't make things any better. Based on the profiles that Brother Eye had built up on these heroes, Batman developed his own strategies to take them down, utilizing all their own strengths and weaknesses against them. And, well, for Wonder Woman in particular, it's a bit of a nightmare. Some of the strategies that Batman put in place were to make Aquaman pathologically scared of water, which, you know, he kind of needs to live, and to use red kryptonite against Superman, which, yes, is even worse than the green kind. So, yeah, this is a watershed moment in Batman's relationship with the Justice League, and while, yes, the Tower of Babel story is fantastic and you should all read it, come on, Batman, this is just inexcusable. Number 1, all the times he's killed Robins. Now, it's bad enough that the Dark Knight himself is indirectly responsible for the deaths of at least 2 Robins, but what about all the ones that he's actually killed himself? Yep, you guessed it, it's time for another crazy trip down memory lane to the Silver Age to read one of Batman's most horrific ever tales. One of them involves Batman shoving his ward off a lighthouse, the other involves him turning into this man-tiger thing and mauling him repeatedly, and another just has Robin dying repeatedly like Kenny from South Park. Kind of twisted if you think about it. Now, bringing kids into your war on crime is pretty bad enough, but come on, straight up killing them too, Bats? Jesus. And that's our list. Know of any other baffling Batman moments? Please do us all a favor and leave them in the comments below. And always like, share, and subscribe, and then head back over to whatculture.com for more comic content every day. I've been Ewan, and I'll see you next time.